Ray and our music ministry. Dale actually told me, you're going to love that song, by the way. And he was right. Who needed to hear that? That we have enough, that we are enough, right? And, if you want to step more fully into that enoughness, right? And that enoughness isn't just so that we can survive through life. It really is so that we can thrive in life. Who's here willing and open to thrive in life? Good, you're in the right place. I like to be around people that want to thrive and that know that there are ways to thrive in this world. And so I want to invite you to join me. We are starting this Tuesday with our Absolute Abundance course, and this one is our Absolute Abundance Flight. So it is the master's course in abundance. And when we talk about there being enough and us being enough, how do we tap into that? And how do we unleash it into the world so that there is enoughness in all of our relationships? There is enoughness in our wealth and our health, in the ways in which we are showing up, living our truth, and living on purpose. And so if you would like to join a group of us that are going to be intentional about that for 8 weeks, it starts this Tuesday evening. I would love for you to be a part of it. You can actually come and do it in person. We're going to have a space at our office on 28th and Biscayne. Or if you want to join virtually, you can do it. So it's a hybrid course, and would just really love for you to join me. Every single time that I facilitate any of these Absolute Abundance courses, something amazing takes place in my life, and I get to witness something amazing happening in the life of the people that are part of it. So there's your invitation. I'd really love for you to join us and be a part of it. Now, one of the things that I recognize about being able to thrive in life is for us to really make a conscious decision and answer this question for ourselves. What kind of relationship do you want to have with life? What kind of relationship do you want to have with life? You see, making that conscious decision and that choice about how you want to be with life is truly our key to freedom, is truly what I believe to be our salvation. Because the moment that we answer that question, how do we want to be in relationship with life, we recognize the ways in which we get invited to simply be in life and allow life to take place within us and through us. So for each of us to make that or to answer that question for us, right? Like, that's what can bring us into a greater sense of our abundance, a greater sense of our happiness, right? Like, it's that old saying that many of us know, like, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Right? But we can go further than that, right? Like, do you want to be in alignment with life and the life that is taking place within you and the life that we know God to be? Or do you want to be in alignment with the ego that tells you that you can control it? It's that choice that we get to make. Want to be in harmony, want to be in joy, want to be in gratitude for how life is showing up for us and how we get to show up in life? Or do we want to pretend that we can control it? Or that we know better of the shoulds and the could-haves, right? How many of us are tired of living in the should-haves or the could-haves? And it's just something that takes place within us. It's that question that we're always invited into. And so really sit with that. Do you want to be at peace? Do you want to feel a greater sense of harmony? Eckart Tolle in this book says, as soon as you sense the hidden harmony, the sacredness, you realize you are not separate from it. And when you realize that, you become a conscious participant in it. A conscious participant in the sacredness that is life. A conscious participant in the ways in which God is moving through and as us, how we unleash it upon the world. And so where is that hidden harmony? Where is that sacredness that Eckart Tolle talks about? It's in this now moment. It's right here. It hasn't passed us by. It's not somewhere in the future. It is in this present moment. It is in you and around you in the always now that is taking place. And so when we talk about being in relationship with life from a sense of harmony, we're talking about being present to the now moment and how life is showing up through and as this moment. And that's what can bring you into a positive relationship, a positive experience of life. Knowing that what matters, knowing that where it is that you're supposed to show up is now. You're supposed to show up now. And the clearer that we are about that, the more in alignment we are about the ways in which we are to show up, the more our hearts and our minds are open to that which is being not only asked of us, but that is really like coming up from us so that we can experience life anew. You see, it's not about the past, it's not about the future. And if you really think about it, how many of us have felt that we've been imprisoned by our past, right? Not being able to let it go, we think it's the past that won't let us go, when in reality, we're the ones that are holding on to it. And we can be imprisoned to it. We can be imprisoned to the past hurts, the past pains that we've experienced. But in reality, I think we can also be imprisoned to the good that we have experienced in the past. How many of us have sometimes thought, the good old days. The good old days. And being so much about the good old days doesn't allow us to recognize that today is good. That this moment is good, for we are allowed and able to live fully present in this moment. You know, for too long, I've been at Unity on the Bay for a long time, and for many, many years, every time that we'd have a conversation about where we were as a spiritual community, some of the first things that showed up were, the good old days. Back in 2000, we had 1,000 people showing up to services. Right, like the amazing choir that we used to have in the past, the amazing speakers that we used to have in the past. And what did it do? It just didn't allow us to fully recognize how blessed we were in that moment. Because we did have those blessings. And the same can happen in this moment right here and right now. Not only in the life of this spiritual community, but in your life. And so we can let go of the hold that the past has on us. We also can let go of the ways in which the future has a hold on us. How many of us get stuck into thinking of the what ifs? What if this happens? Right? Like when we talk about abundance, right? When we talk about enoughness, how many times do we live into that enoughness with the thought, but the shoe's gonna drop? What if this happens? What could it be like, right? And so here we are in this tug and war between the past and the future without fully recognizing that the only place that we live is in the now, is in this very moment. Now, when we talk about the future, I'm a fair believer in having a vision, in having a goal, right? In setting intentions. So it's not about that. But to recognize that where we are headed, like that direction or the destiny in which we're headed, it's secondary, as Eckart Tolle says. The primary responsibility or opportunity that we have is to look at what the consciousness that we have in this present moment that will allow us to take the steps towards our destiny. But if we're so focused on the destiny, we forget that it is here and now where we are making that decision to listen to the wisdom, to be open to the love that is showing up through us, right? And so it's about the consciousness to have in this moment so that the divine potential can express itself. It is in this moment where the divine potential actually lies. The result is the future is the result of the consciousness of this moment. Eckart Tolle actually says that there is only ever this moment. Life is always now. Your entire life unfolds in this constant now. Even past or future moments only exist when you remember or anticipate them. And you do so by thinking about them in the only moment there is, this one. I mean, that's big, right? Think about it. The past and the future only live in this moment because we think about it, because we bring it up for ourselves. And in that, if we are feeling like we're imprisoned to it or being held back because of those two, then it is our choice to no longer let it be so here and now. Because beyond time and space, there is only God. Beyond time and space, there is that divinity. And so when we say that God is presence, we are saying that God is present in the present, in this moment. And we ourselves can be present to that present presence moment by moment. It's a decision that we make moment by moment. It's a decision that we will make always, right? We will always be making that decision. And our opportunity lies in the fact that we can create practices that will allow it to become more natural in us, where maybe we won't even realize we're making the decision because we no longer are held back by thinking that there's an either or. We simply just are present. Now, the power in looking at this moment and realizing that we can bring up the past or the present or the future is that then it makes us realize that we are the ones that, through the power of our thinking, can make it so, right? Like, we can hold ourselves back. We can be present in the moment. We ourselves are the ones that bring the awareness to it, and we are the ones that are making the choices that will allow us to do that. And so the power of our attention and our focus is really what being present is all about. For too long, we have thought of ourselves as our thinking rather than the individual or the awareness that is having those thoughts. How many of us, when we have a thought of fear, we say, I am fearful? When we have a scary thought, I am scared. And so it becomes part of our identity, these thoughts, rather than realizing that our identity is actually beyond the thinking. And our identity is that awareness that gets to choose the thoughts, what to do with the thoughts. We are the awareness that is able to decide whether we will be limited by the thinking or not, by being imprisoned of it or not. It's that idea that, like, our monkey mind, right? Like we've heard and talked about the monkey mind. That monkey mind can be the monkey mind. And we can just be aware that it is being the monkey mind doing its job, and it doesn't have any bearing over us. We can be free from that which we thought had imprisoned us in the past. And so we can know that the monkey mind is not our truth, and we can put our attention on something else. If we don't like our stories, and that really is what we are talking about when we talk about the past and the future, right? Like the stories that we're bringing into the present. By the way, when I was thinking about this, it was like, oh yeah, like the stories that we have lived through and the stories that we tell ourselves about the future, the ones that we make about the future. How many of you recognize that we make a whole lot of stories about the past also? Right? Like you and somebody else that lived through a whole experience in the past are talking about it and like have a completely different story about that past situation, because we are just constantly making up stories about the stories that we live into, right? And so beyond that is where our salvation lies. Byron Katie actually says, you are what exists before all stories. You are what remains when the story is understood. Now, understood for what it is, just a story. When we become aware of our thinking, we can redirect it and be freed from it. And we can begin to see the possibility that is present there and now. And Jesus actually speaks of this. When we look at the story of the sower in the Bible, metaphysically, we can see how Jesus is inviting us to really live in that moment. It says in Matthew chapter 13, verse 1 through 9, that same day, Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, a farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came up and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on good soil, where it produced a crop, 160 or 30 times what was sown. And so the question is, where are we planting ourselves? Where are you planting yourself? Right? Like if you want to give life to yourself, where are you planting yourselves? And so, we in unity, the third unity principle, thoughts and mind create after their kind, right? Like we can create our experiences. Where do we want our experiences to be planted? Now, the moment that, just these thoughts come up, they're scattered everywhere and the birds come up, good. Not all thoughts are creative. We can have an isolated thought and it won't become true, right? Like it doesn't have to be our experience. The birds will eat it up. But what about the the seeds that fall on the rocky places where there's just a little bit of soil but not too much to take root? How many times have we lived our lives through the future, through what will take place in the future that has no roots? There are no roots in the future. It hasn't happened yet. And so what happens when we live our lives thinking about the future? It can wither, right? Like that future vision can wither. What about when we plant our lives in the past, in those past hurts, in that past pain, the thorns that don't allow us to fully thrive? And so it is only in that present soil that we can plant ourselves, that we can have our awareness. That is our power. That is where we can step more fully into our power. Personally, I've been going through the past, present, and future, and maybe you have also, because it is a continual conversation that we have. But I'm really conscientious and I'm really present to the fact that I've been in this push and pull, even today, with you in this moment. Because it's not lost on me that this is the first Sunday of my speaking after Reverend Chris's last Sunday speaking. It's not lost on me. And I can go to the past, right? I can think about, and I can get stuck in the past. And I've gone there a few times actually this week about, how things have been in the past. How much Chris has been loved by each and every one of you. The kind of relationship that you have had with Reverend Chris. And that's not a good place for me to get stuck in, I've realized. But I also can go into the place of the future. What if they don't like me as much? What if I don't show up the way I wanted to show up, right? Like all those what ifs, right? And that is not a healthy place to be. And it came to me, thank you to this program and to the fact that we were speaking. Wait, all my role to be and to do is to just be present. To just be present to each and every one of you. To be present to God, to be present to the way in which God is expressing in this very moment, to be a witness to how you are living your present moment. Imagine if we can live all our moments, all our relationships in that awareness that it is only about what is shared here and what is shared now. Isn't that how we want to plant our lives? Isn't that how we want to continue to grow and deepen and create these deep roots that will allow us to grow and flourish and blossom? That is the gift of this moment. We are here to witness God in each other here and now. Without being held captive to the future, we can witness each other. Without being held captive to the past, we can live in this moment with greater clarity. Eckart Tolle also says that just being present in the moment doesn't mean that you're not moving towards the future. You are taking action. But as he says, our actions become empowered by the intelligence of life itself. The moment that we are present to the present, to this very moment here and now, without the past, without the future, just fully here, is the moment that we can, with clarity, be open to all that is in this moment, which is nothing short of a miracle because it is God. It is divine. It is wisdom. It is love. It is joy. Joy that we may not have ever felt before, right? Like the potential is in this moment for us to just grab it and be present to it and allow it to move through and as us. Abundance of God, the wisdom of love, all the ways in which God can show up in this moment. We can be present. Now, the question is, can we be a friend to life? Can we be a friend to the present moment? How do you want to relate to friends? I know when I want to relate to friends, I want to be fully there for them, right? I want to be present to friends. So can you be present to life? And can you be friendly to life? And see, the thing is that the moment that we can be friendly to life and take life in its terms, right, without making it right or without making it wrong, without making it be something that it was or making it something that we think it should be, the moment that we are just fully aware and present to life and we're friendly to it, all of a sudden, life seems friendlier to us because our life experiences are a reflection of the life being experienced within us. Our life experiences are a reflection of the life being experienced within us. The moment that we release the shackles of the past and the future and are just fully present, all of a sudden we get to live life within us. And that life, from that sense of oneness, from the sense of God, from that sense of presence, is manifested and is reflected in the world around us. Now, Tolle says that we realize that we are not always present. And here's the kick. The moment that we realize we're not present, bam, we just became present. Because we became present to not being present. Isn't that a beautiful thing? And then we can use that to really support us in continuing to be present to the moment. And the moment that we do that, sounds become sharper, right? Like colors become deeper. Life becomes a greater experience of life. Now, it isn't easy, and it's powerful. And it isn't easy, and it's a practice. So there's a practice that I want to invite us into this week. And it actually comes from Thich Nhat Hanh. And Thich Nhat Hanh actually invites through his books and through his teachings to be mindful about the present moment and the beauty that God is in the present moment. And so he talks sometimes about the mindfulness bells. How many of you have heard of those mindfulness bells that you get on your iPhone, right? And they like just ring every so often. You can do it randomly or on the hour, and it's an opportunity for you to just become mindful of whatever is taking place within you in that moment. So that's a mindfulness bell, and you can download that one. Now, the practice that I want to share with you is one that's a little bit more fun in my view. And it's that he invites us into a really cool practice of using that which sometimes irritates us and shifts it around. That which irritates us becomes our salvation, right? Isn't that a life lesson? And so, you ready for it? You want to hear what this powerful thing in your life is? Yes? A red light. Think about what you think about during a red light. I know that at the moment that it's a red light, it's like my moment to text, my moment to call, my moment to do this, right? But think about also when you're driving somewhere and the red light shows up and, why do I have the red light? I got to get to where I'm going. I'm thinking about the future, right? Am I going to be late now? What are they going to say? How are they going to feel because I'm going to be late? So you get into the future or you get into the past. I should have left earlier. I should have known. I should have gone another way. Do you experience that? And so all of a sudden, the invitation is to use that red light to invite us into a moment of being present. And so recognize that it's irritating. Recognize that you're in the future or recognize that you're in the past, and then make a choice. How do you want your relationship to that moment to be? And you can question the thought. You can question the irritation. You can refocus the mind and look out the window. Breathe in the air. Be present. How many of you want to try this practice out? The red light practice this week? I'm going to invite you, if you are practicing it with us, to tag Unity on the Bay and let us know the kind of experiences that brings up for you. Because all of a sudden, in those moments, is where the clarity shows up. Not only about how to be present, not only about what is present in that moment, but how we want to show up to it. And that really is the key. How do I want to show up in my relationship with life? In those moments at the red light, you can even affirm this: I am present, I choose harmony, I am free. Will you say that with me today? I am present, I choose harmony, I am free. Our decision to have a harmonious relationship with life changes our whole world. And it is a decision that we will make again and again, moment by moment. And it'll be the best decision that you make. It is how ultimately we will create not only a way to live, but a way to experience the divine. And isn't that our true purpose here on earth? Let's do it together, and let us witness it in each other here, now, and always. Namaste, everyone. Now, as Faye is coming up, because you didn't get enough of me, I'm going to stay up here and just share a few more things. But I did tell you that we are wanting to support all those that are affected by Hurricane Ian and Hurricane Fiona, who before Ian really devastated a lot of the Caribbean. And so we want to first let you know that a percentage of all tithes that are received today are going to hurricane relief efforts. We are going to be partnering with an organization that you may already be aware of, GEM, which is the Global Empowerment Mission. It's the organization that we gave the $10,000 to help with Ukraine and the crisis in Ukraine. We're going to be supporting them in how they're showing up for hurricane relief. And we're looking at other ways to do it. So we're continuing to have these conversations. We're going to invite you to join us and go to our website if you want to learn more about how you can be involved, including we're going to have on our website a list of different organizations that are on the grounds doing the work, as well as some items that are needed with the drop-off locations where you can go to Global Empowerment Mission and drop them off. They are taking trucks over to the affected areas on a daily basis. So just make sure that you're a part of it. As Faye comes on up, just know also that the way in which you are generous today will continue to support the generosity we're able to give to those affected by the hurricane.
Yeah, so those 4 Starbucks coffees that you'll have this week, don't have them. Put them in your tithe today, right? So Reverend Juan, what an incredible message. Please give Reverend Juan another round of applause. I did notice that it was going to be your first message after Reverend Chris's last message, but I didn't want to pressure you. But I think you knocked it out of the park, correct, right? Our senior minister is better than yours. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Say that out loud. He's more handsome. Whatever. All right. So, so many wonderful things in this message. Thank you very much, Reverend Juan, again. And, here at Unity on the Bay, we believe in a spiritual law of giving and receiving. And now is your chance to give in gratitude. We encourage you to go green by texting GIVE to 833-245-5645. That's GIVE to 833-245-5645. Folks at home, the information is right on your screen. Folks here, the information is right behind me. And if you need some help, the ushers or anybody else can help you set that up on your phone. It makes life a lot easier. Then next week, you just do 1, 2, 3, and you are done, okay? Or you can do like what I do, that I just do the weekly tithing that just does it automatically. That way I don't even have to mess with my phone because I am not tech savvy at all right? So if you need an envelope, please raise your hand. Annette's here in the middle. She will hook you up with an envelope. We also have another usher here that'll hook you up as well. So just raise your hand, and we will get that to you as the beautiful choir is coming right back up to the stage. Aren't we so happy to have them back, right? God, missed you guys so much. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds in silence to prepare your gift. We thank you for your gift. You can place your hand to your heart or whatever makes you comfortable, and we will bless these gifts together. Divine love, that I am. Blessed is all that I give and all that I receive. Before we leave today, we've got to bless the children. Let's get our hands ready to bless the incredible children that right now is in their own time of inspiration and learning at the Kids Zone. If you've got a child in your family that you want to bring on over, go on over to our website and sign them up, and then they'll be with us next Sunday, all right? All right, here we go. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. With the red light practice, really, Reverend Juan? Let's see how that works out this week for you guys. Don't forget to tag Unity on the Bay if you do the red light practice, which I hope that you all will. I'm going to invite the prayer chaplains on up. If you need one of them after service, please grab them and sit down with them for a couple of minutes. I'm going to invite Reverend Juan and Reverend Anna on up, please, for our prayer for protection, followed by our peace song.
Thank you, Faye. You know, it's really funny how the mind works, because when you said, like, the best minister or whatever it was, I was like, oh, stop, Faye. When you said the most handsome, I was like, I'll take that.
And the most humble.
Well, at least we know ourselves, right? So, by the way, not only do we love on Faye and are so grateful for what she does here at Unity on the Bay, but she also does so much more out in the community. And so I want you to you can go to our website, look for the link. You can also just go to South Florida Gay News. It's going to be linked on our social media, because you get to vote for Faye, who is a finalist as Best News and Host in South Florida. So, you know, for her work all over the place. So you can go and vote, and you can vote every day, you said, right?
You can vote every day. You could also vote for multiple emails. But also, Unity on the Bay
and
is
also
one of the finalists also for Best Spiritual Center. So go to sfgn.com, go to Best of 2022, link in Broward, because we got finalized in Broward. It is what it is. And then go to Spiritual Community and vote for Unity on the Bay. We want to bring that trophy home.
And Faye.
And
all
Faye,
right.
yeah.
With that, I'm going to invite all of us to stand so that we can say the prayer for protection and follow it together with the peace song. So together, let us affirm: the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.